Hello class, this is a video tutorial on solving trig problems using exact values. By utilizing exact values, it is possible to solve some questions, some trigonometry questions, without use of a calculator. In case you've forgotten, here are the exact values that we need to remember. They've come from these triangles. Whoops, don't know why I did that. It comes from these triangles where this angle is 30. That's 60, this is 1, 2, and root 3, which also tells us that sine of 30 is equal to half, cos of 30 is root 3 on 2, tan of 30 is equal to 1 on root 3. Likewise, if we did this for 60, sine of 60 is equal to root 3 on 2. Cosine of 60 is half. And tan of 60 is equal to root 3 on 1, which we write just as root 3. The other triangle that we also need to remember is the 45-degree equilateral triangle. So these two sides are both 1. That's 45 degrees. So from here we can say that sine, we also forgot that this hypotenuse is square root of 2. Sine of 45 is 1 on root 2. Cosine of 45 is also 1 on root 2, and tan of 45 is equal to 1. So it's these values that we'll be using to solve these questions without the use of a calculator. Here we go. So let's solve these without a calculator. Sine of 30, that's half. So instead of sine of 30, we're going to replace that with half. Cos of 60 is also half. Well, half plus half, that's 1 whole. Cot of 60. Well, cot is 1 on tan 60. Well, tan of 60 is root 3. The reciprocal of that is 1 on root 3. So cot of 60 is 1 on root 3. And tan of 30 is also 1 on root 3 plus 1 on root 3, which, if we simplify, becomes 2 on root 3. And if we rationalize the denominator, it becomes 2 root 3 on 3. Sine squared of 30. Now, in case you ever get confused about this one, this is treated as sine of 30 first, and then we square it. So let's figure out what sine of 30 is first. Sine of 30 is 1/2, which we will be squaring, plus tan of 45 is 1. Evaluating this, 1/2 squared is 1/4 plus 1, which equals 1 and 1/4, which is going to be 5 on 4. Tan 45, cos 45. Now it may not seem like it, but that means there's a multiplication in between them. So sine 45 and cos 45, they're both equal to 1 on root 2. So this is going to be 1 on root 2 times 1 on root 2 plus cos of 60, let's go up here, cos of 60 is 1/2. 1 on root 2 times 1 on root 2 is just 1/2 plus 1/2. Well, that's again equal to 1 whole. Let's do this again. Cosec of 30 times sec of 45. Cosec of 30 is 1 on sine of 30 times sec of 45 is 1 on cos 45 squared. So let's figure out what 1 on sine 30 is. Sine 30 is 1/2. So 1 on 1/2 is equal to, let me just substitute this in so you see it, 1 on 1/2, that is the same as 2 times cos of 45. Cos of 45 is 1 on 1 on root 2. So this is going to be 1 on 1 on root 2 squared, which, if we substitute it, that's going to be 1 on 1/2, which is equal to 2 as well. That gives us a total of 4. Alright, this one looks very difficult, but let's take a look at what it's equal to. 2 doesn't do anything. Tan 45 times cot 45. Remember, if two trig values are right next to each other, there's a multiplication in between them. So tan 45 times cot 45. Well, tan 45 is 1. Where are we? There we are. Tan 45 is 1 times cot 45. Well, that's the same as 1 on tan 45, which is just going to be 1 over 1. That's also equal to 1. Plus 1/3 doesn't do anything, it's by itself. Now tan 60 we need to find the value of. Let's scroll back up to here. Tan 60 is square root of 3. Come back down. So it's root 3 times cot of 30. Well, cot of 30 is equal to, let me write this down so you saw it. Cot of 30 is 1 on tan 30. So we need this value here. Okay, so it's going to be 1 on root 3. Okay, so let's copy that one down. It's going to be times 1 on root 3. Let's evaluate this. 2 stays as it is. This first bracket is going to be 1 plus 1/3 times, evaluating this, 1 on root 3 is the same as, that's root 3 here. 1 on root 3 is the same as root 3. Evaluating this some more, 2 equals 1 plus 1/3. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. These will cancel, giving us 2 minus 1 plus 1. And as you can see, all of this is going to equal 0. So I hope that gave you an insight into how we can utilize exact values, these ones listed here, in order to solve trig problems without the use of a calculator. Hope to see you in the next video. Best of luck.